Hello, live from on the porch. I don't get good signal out here, so we may not make it through, but I'm going to try. So, we are on Canto 12 of the Inferno. This is the seventh circle of hell. This gets into a lot of Greek mythology, so this is where it's helpful if you have some background in Greek mythology. So, let's read. The place where to descend the bank we came was alpine, and from what was there, moreover, of such a kind that every eye would shun it. Such as that ruin is which in the flank smote, on this side of Trent, the Adige, either by earthquake or by failings day. For from the mountain's top, from which it moved, unto the plain, the cliff is shattered so. Some path twould give to him who was above. Even such was the descent of that ravine. And on the border of the broken chasm, the infamy of Crete was stretched along. Who was conceived in the fictitious cow? And when he us beheld, he bit himself, even as one whom anger racks within. My sage towards him shouted, Peradventure, thou thinkest that there may be the Duke of Athens, who in the world above brought death to thee. Get thee gone, beast, for this one cometh not, instructed by thy sister, but he comes in order to behold your punishments. As is that bull who breaks loose at the moment in which he has received the mortal blow, who cannot walk but staggers here and there. The Minotaur beheld I do the like. And he, the wary, cried, Run to the passage while he wrought. 'Tis well thou shouldst descend. Thus down we took our way o'er that discharge of stones, which oftentimes did move themselves beneath my feet, but from the unwonted burden. Thoughtful I went, and he said, Thou art thinking perhaps upon this ruin, which is guarded by that brute anger which just now I quenched. Now will I have thee know, the other time I here descended to the nether hell. This precipice had not yet fallen down. But truly, if I well discern, a little before his coming, who the mighty spoil bore off from Dis in the supernal circle. I want to say supernal circle. Upon all sides, the deep and loathsome valley trembled so that I thought the universe was thrilled with love, by which there are who think the world oft times converted into chaos. And at that moment, this primeval crag, both here and elsewhere, made such overthrow. But fix thine eyes below, for draweth near the river of blood, within which boiling is, whoe'er by violence doth injure others. O blind cupidity, O wrath insane, that spurs us onward so in our short life, and in the eternal then so badly steeps us. I'm going to pause and just say that this is not easy to understand. So if you're lost, be lost. This is one of those things you may have to take a couple of times to read. It's something you have to look at the Spark Notes or the get Chat GPT or one to help you. But don't be frustrated with yourself if this is confusing. Use the aids you need to use to be able to understand this. O wrath insane that spurs us onward so in our short life, and in the eternal then so badly steeps us. I saw an ample moat, that thing that goes around the castle, like a bow, like a bow or a bow. In English, I don't know until I do it contextually, as one which all the plain encompasses. I think bow like the front of a boat, comfortable to what my guide had said. And between this and the embankment's foot, centaurs in file were running, armed with arrows, and this is the world they used the chase to follow. Beholding us descend, each one stood still, and from the squadron 3 detached themselves with bows and arrows and advanced selected. And from afar one cried, Unto what torment come ye? Who down the hillside are descending? Tell us from there. If not, I draw the bow. So it's bow. My master said, Our answer will we make to Chiron, near you there, in evil hour. That will of thine was evermore so hasty. Then touched he me and said, This one is Nessus, who perished for the lovely Dejanira, and for himself did vengeance take. And he in the midst, who at his breast is gazing, is the great Chiron, who brought up Achilles. That other Pholus is, who was so wrathful. I'm working on the Iliad with a student now, and so it's kind of fun to read these two together. So if you're a really advanced honor student, or if you're a teacher, these two pieces go really well together. Backward upon his jaws he put his beard. After he had uncovered his great mouth, he said to his companions, "Are you aware that he behind moveth whate'er touches? Thus are not wont to do the feet of dead men." And my good guide, who now was at his breast, where the two natures are together joined, replied, "Indeed he lives, and thus alone me it behooves to show him the dark valley. Necessity and not delight impels us." Someone withdrew from singing Hallelujah, who unto me committed this new office. No thief is he, nor I a thievish spirit, but by that virtue through which I am moving my steps along this savage thoroughfare, give us some one of thine to be with us, and who may show us where to pass the ford, or who may carry this one on his back, for 'tis no spirit that can walk the air. Upon his right breast Chiron wheeled about and said to Nessus, "Turn, and do thou guide them, and warn aside if other band may meet you." We with faithful escort onward moved along the brink of the vermilion boiling, wherein the boiled were uttering loud laments. People I saw within up to the eyebrows, and the great centaur said, "Tyrants are these, who dealt in bloodshed and in pillaging. Here they lament their pitiless mischiefs. Here is Alexander and fierce Dionysus. Dionysus. I hate that I can't do that. It just gets stuck in my head. If you struggle in school, don't get frustrated with yourself when you can't pronounce things. Dionysus. Dionysus. It'll get there. Who upon Sicily brought dolorous years. That forehead there, which has the hair so black, is Aslan, and the other who is blonde. Remember, he always lists the people that are at the level of hell. Obizo is of Este, who in truth up in the world was by his stepson slain. Then turned I to the poet, and he said, "Now he be first to thee, and second I." A little further on the centaur stopped, above a folk, who far down as the throat seemed from that boiling stream to issue forth. A shade he shoved us on one side alone, saying, "He cleft asunder in God's bosom." Interesting, because that's in wedding vow. Or, "Let no man put asunder, cleft asunder, cut in two." Where did my cleft asunder go? He cleft asunder in God's bosom. The heart that's still upon the Thames is honored. Now we're in England. We're all over the place with this, right? Then people saw I, who from out the river lifted their heads, and also all the chest, and many among these I recognized. Thus ever more and more grew shallower that blood, so that the feet alone it covered, and there across the moat our passage was. Even as though here upon this side beholdest the boiling stream, that eye diminishes. The centaur said, "I wish thee to believe that on this other more and more declines its bed until it reunites itself, where it behooveth tyranny to groan. Justice divine upon this side is goading that Attila, who was a scourge on earth, and Pyrrhus and Sextus, and forever milks, the tears with which the boiling it unseals, in Renier de Corneto and Renier Pazzo, who made up the highways so much war." Then back he turned and passed again the ford. So that